What's up, my brother?
Yo, yo, yo. In honor of Hoodie Mello getting blown out by 30 at home on the road to the Dallas Mavericks, your boy Justin here alongside his boy Justin. We're going to give you Hoodie Justins all night long in a just wild frenzy of a night. First, we are totally and completely disgusted as TNT chose to continue to show Lakers versus Mavericks in a 30-point blowout when they could have had what could be the game of the season between Milwaukee and Philadelphia, which came down to the death as Giannis blocks Embiid's put back slamma jamma with less than 2 seconds to play to save it for the Bucks and show why he, not Embiid, not Jokic, not Luka, not Trey, not Steph, not nobody should be the MVP of this league other than Giannis freaking Antetokounmpo. Not Ja, Mr. My team is 18-2 when I don't play Morant. No. Giannis freaking Antetokounmpo. And for you, Mr. Griswold, to just throw us in the mentions and say, look at us now, we're in first place. Yeah, well, less than 24 hours later, you were in fourth place. Now, where are you?
Eating some pie.
Embiid just had his lunch eaten by Giannis all night. Bucks are going to repeat, and as much as I hate to say it, they're probably going to face Phoenix in the finals. And we said, this is such an interesting season. It'll be so nice to have just the parity in the league, and we're going to get a repeat of last year's finals. And that is very disappointing. But on the way, if I could just get 7 games of Giannis and Embiid, please, please, gods of the NBA.
Prayers up. Prayers up.
I pour out my Baja Blast to you, please.
Receive our Doritos Locos Tacos as sacrament. That was a pretty good
opening segment.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Doritos Locos Taco broken for you.
Pass it on. Yeah, that's wild. So where does this put the Sixers now? Sixers and the Bucks. Bucks will be 1 game behind the Heat, and Sixers will be 2 games behind the Heat. It's like sitting in the.
Yeah, are they going to be tied with the Celtics or half game back?
I think they'll be a half game back on the Celtics.
The East is insane. The Heat were number 1. Then the Celtics took number 1 and quickly dropped to number 4 as Philly took number 1 and then quickly dropped to number 4 and then back to number 2 and then back to number 4. Every night, every game means something right now. And that is like, I feel like I have not experienced this where I am like tuned in to every single game because it means a change in not just 1 or 2 places. Like you could go from first to fourth overnight in back-to-back games. It's insane. You can drop 4 spots. We've got a race between not just the top 4 seeds in the East, but also your next 3 seeds as to who's going to be stuck in the play-in between the Bulls, the Raptors, and the Cavs, all separated by a game. It's plus.
And then you've
keep an eye out for the most exciting race, and that is, well, I guess there's a couple. How quickly and how far can the Warriors drop from being Steph MVP favorite to
number 1 seed in the West. Let's go.
Perhaps opening up these playoffs on the road. Oh, it would be glorious. And then you have a crazy plot twist of your San Antonio Spurs, dead in the water, dead to rights, have now clawed their way back, and in a matter of minutes will be the number 10 seed with the Lakers looking from the outside. No LeBron tonight. AD still out. Kendrick Nunn has not played a single second all year long. And every time I check the injury report, it's just, expected to return this date. It's just another day longer than the day before. So there's no expected return. He's hanging out on the same milk carton as Zion and Ben Simmons, and that is that.
Oh my gosh. Seeing the Lakers outside of the playoffs gives me so much joy. And the Warriors, it's hard. It's actually hard to decide which I enjoy more: the Warriors losing or the Lakers losing. Oh man. Oh, and then in the Eastern Conference, we pretty much have basically pretty much a three-way tie for the 8, 9, and 10 seed. The Knicks are on the outside looking in. They're 4 games behind the Hawks. Hornets up a game. Hornets and the Nets are basically tied in the 8 and the 9 seed. And then you got the Cavs, a little bit of separation there. And what each team has got 6 games roughly left remaining.
Yeah, something like that, 6 to 8 games, depending on who's played tonight.
Yeah, like 6 to 8 games. And
so we've looked ahead. I've checked the crystal ball. I've looked ahead into the future. And by into the future, I just mean the schedule. And the Bulls have the toughest schedule of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the Raptors are narrowly ahead of the Cavs for the easiest schedule. Not that either one are easy. They both play a lot of the same teams, but I think the Bulls is the toughest of those 3 teams. I'm going to say right now that the Raptors and the Cavs land themselves in the 5 and the 6 seed, and the Bulls, along with your Hornets, Nets, and Hawks are going to be your play-in games, which it's tough. I would love to see Brooklyn fall to the 9-10 seed. The only sort of hope that happens is that they tie probably with Charlotte. I don't know if Charlotte could finish ahead of them outright, but Charlotte has, I believe, the tiebreaker. So I'm hoping for a tie there. Charlotte gets the tiebreaker, and we get Bulls Charlotte for the 7-8, and we got Nets Hawks. And just imagine Trae Young going into New York City once again, into Brooklyn, and just silencing the dozen fans that actually like the Brooklyn Nets on their home court. It would be delightful. Yes.
So good. Speaking of the Nets, Kyrie can play again on his home court. How about that?
Nice.
How convenient.
Very convenient. Happened, just in time for the final stretch to make sure they got into the playoffs, to make sure that he's around. Oh, and what do you know? What else is around the corner? Baseball, I guess, is going to be starting up. So funny how all this timing is. I guess COVID doesn't affect athletes anymore.
Well, I think the science has changed. We trust the science, Justin. So
whoa. The science is the science, whether it's changed or not, whether it's ever been what it is. Hey, you know what I've always said about science? A theory's just a theory.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Nacho Libre and say, "Do you believe in science?"
No. If this stuff was all true, they wouldn't call it theories. You know what I'm saying? So,
just be true.
Fact or fiction, a theory does not make.
Okay. Brought to you by your resident Taco Bell expert. What's Drummond doing there in the background? What's going on there?
The other night, Drummond got on a fast break in a game that Brooklyn was leading by a significant amount and threw up the Tyreek Hill peace sign as he burned by some defenders.
I don't see anyone behind him there. There's nobody close.
No, there wasn't, which is why he threw up the peace sign, because he could get caught by probably 90% of the league. But that's neither here nor there. It's hilarious. It's meme worthy. I'll take it.
You got to let the big man shine. It's almost like that kind of a moment. A big man with a breakaway dunk is almost like the offensive lineman scoring, or the just lineman in football scoring a touchdown. When there's the big man touchdown, like they get a tip,
Yeah,
and they're like absolutely booking it, and guys that can run twice as fast like trying to
Yeah.
pull them down.
then all the guys come over and give him like the oxygen on the sidelines and stuff.
It's just completely gassed after that. Oh, yeah, so much happening in the league, and the regular season concludes not this Saturday, but a week from, well, I guess Sunday, April 10th. So 2 weeks, well, less than 2 weeks of regular season games. And then when do our playoff games start? I think
I want to say not
it's like a
soon
week
enough.
after. I want to say it's like 17th, 18th. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I want to say not soon enough, but I can't get enough of the end of this regular season, so we're just going to keep it going.
Here we go.
Unlike years past, I'm not ready to just jump right to the playoffs. I just need to see how this all unfolds first.
Play. So where is it? Play and start April 12th.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
And then playoffs start April 16th. So that would be Saturday.
I am ready to not sleep for the next 3 months.
This is going to be wild. Oh, man. What
Who you got for MVP? I mean, I know who I said I think should be the MVP. I think Giannis should be MVP because I think he's the best. Obviously, they don't vote that way, but it's almost very likely that they could secure the number 1 seed here down the stretch. And after muddling around in mediocrity, they've turned on the Jets and are hitting peak performance come playoff time. I would say he's the best player and the most unstoppable player in the league right now. I don't think the votes are maybe going to go his way, but can you really give it to Jokic on Denver, who's going to maybe finish in the 4th or 5th seed? I mean, it's also very likely that the Bucks drop all the way to the 4th seed because the race is so tight. So who do you think's getting it? Who do you want to get it?
I think Joel.
You think he gets it?
Yeah, I think he gets it. And this ties back, Justin, to an episode where we were talking about we had Scott on, and we were talking about the greatest snubs in MVP history, and
the least valuable MVPs.
Yes,
the least deserving, the LD MVP.
So I think there's some recency bias in this, where it's like, we can't give it to Giannis again. We can't give it to Jokic again. So I think they're gonna try to get a new face in there. I think Joel's gonna get it at this point. So much of there's such a small fraction of the season left that I think the way the votes are going to come down is looking at the whole season, and again trying to award it to someone who hasn't won it the last 2 or 3 seasons. So that's my reasoning for Joel. Who do you think? I know who you want. You obviously want Giannis, but do you actually think he would win out?
No, which stinks because I mean, let's just do a quick.
You want to look at NBA reference?
Let's just get me a quick search here and see what's going on. Giannis averages 29.7, 5.8, and 11.5. Embiid, 29.9, 4.2, and 11.5. So their averages are, for points, rebounds, assists. Obviously, there's much more that goes into that. How many minutes per game are you playing? How many games did you play for your team? What are your blocks? What are your steals? I think some of the issues we came to in that least deserving MVP discussion was that there was that recency bias in a lot of those years where they didn't want to give it to somebody who had just won it or had won multiples. And there were some where there was like so many guys that could have won it that were like, wow, how did Steve Nash win when there was like 8 guys who had better records, where there's like, or had better numbers and had better seasons? And then you like look around. And so is it possible that some of these big men all pull votes from different people and it ends up going to somebody who you're not thinking of? Is this the Derrick Rose of Ja Morant season, where he just somehow sneakily gets it because of how fire the Grizzlies have been? When you look around and see other people, does somebody like Luka sneak in there and get one, who I think would be extremely deserving? His team basically ridiculed and mocked for much of the season. But to me, Luka, I could see Luka getting it, because when I look at the team that he's surrounded by, and I don't even recognize like any of the players, I just think of like those early Cavs teams, and I think about like, if Luka wasn't on this team, how bad would they be? Like, I feel like they would be just so bad. And so, but as has been said a lot of times with the MVP, the voting is typically comes in a year late, where perhaps we'll realize Luka was the most deserving because of who he's surrounded by, and maybe he ends up getting it next year. And maybe Embiid deserved last year's, but because he was injured and missed such a big chunk of games, he's not going to get it till this year. So I could see that. I think it's probably going to end up going to Embiid, but it wouldn't shock me if a handful of other people won it. I feel like I would be kind of shocked if Jokic won it again.
For sure.
I just think that, yeah, I think that would be shocking if he won back to back. I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked if Embiid, Giannis, Luka, or Morant ended up getting picked. But then you look at a team like Phoenix, who has the best record in the NBA by like 20 games, and there's zero consideration for anybody on their team to be the MVP.
Well, because there, I think the consensus there is like, well, there's so many key players that there's not just one. Whereas
who's their number one guy?
I mean, some nights Chris Paul, some nights Devin Booker. That's what I'm saying is there's so much more of a balanced load instead of just one player standing out above all the rest, that I don't think that positions.
All I have to say is that I don't know what I'll do, but I will be deeply distraught and grieved if this happens to be one of those years where the voters can't decide between the people who actually deserve it, and because of the market that he plays in, somehow it goes to like Jason Tatum, and I will just go berserk, because there's just no way that I don't even, I'm upset that the thought crept into my mind.
There's no way anyone on the Celtics. Okay, I'm gonna say right now, I will be shocked if anyone other than Joel Embiid wins MVP. To me, it's all
Shocked.
it's fake
It's
news.
a done deal. It's closed.
It's a done deal. It's fake news. Again, that whole, I think there's a lot of weight to what you're saying about this kind of 1 year lag time, that because think about last year. So much of the conversation was Embiid, and then he gets injured, and it's like, well, so
Missed
I
like
think,
over 20 games. Yeah.
and the fact that he continued to produce at such a high level over a full season, I think it's a shoo-in. I would be shocked if anyone other than him won it. Again, not because of numbers alone, but we both know that this is not just going off the numbers. So it's popularity, it's timing, it's who hasn't won it, and that's why I'm pretty confident that Embiid's a lock. We'll see. That'll happen. Doesn't that happen like in the second round of the playoffs that they dole out that award?
I don't know how they do it.
It's so deep. It's so deep into the
They used to announce it during the playoffs, like during like the first round, and then or during the second round, because didn't in Giannis's first time winning it or second time winning it, they got knocked out in the first round and they had to have him on TV to accept it during like a second round game after the Bucks had been eliminated. So they were like, they tried to move it and they have like the NBA award ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
But like, don't we already know who won it? I feel like we still find out during the playoffs, but maybe they tried to hold it until later on. We'll look into that. But
yeah,
as your resident NBA experts.
That's right. All right, man. Anything else you wanna highlight? You wanna shout out before we wrap this one up?
Oh my God.
Before we wrap it up.
Yes, dude, that is perfect. We're gonna have to do that. Yeah.
We'll make it a crunch wrap supreme.
Oh, one thing, Taco Bell, I get it. I get the app, use the app, get rewards, this and that. But if I pull up to the drive-thru and I go, yeah, I'd like to get a quesarito, and they go, I'm sorry, we only do those for online orders. And I go, don't you make the quesarito in the back? You make the quesaritos here? He goes, yeah. I go, so you could make me a quesarito. He goes, well, only if you order it online. I go, can't you just make me
This is
semantics.
This is semantics.
What is the difficulty? Why can't they just why can't I just order a quesarito in the drive-thru?
They can't, their system cannot handle that request. They cannot charge you for it unless it's through the app.
Charge me for two different things. Charge me for a quesadilla and a burrito, and then just wrap them together and give me the quesarito.
It sounds like somebody needs to use the app.
I have the app, but by the time, like, if I'm just driving and I see it, I'm going to pull into the drive-thru. I'm not going to sit in the parking lot, order everything on the app, and then go into the drive-thru. That defeats the purpose of, I'm already on the road. I'm going to get into an accident trying to order through the app while I'm driving around. You're going to encourage me to get into an accident because I'm quesaritoing and driving at the same time.
I'm not endorsing reckless driving here. I'm saying, if you want to save some bucks and get the food that you want, you pull in, you order, and here in the South, you can then walk in. And in my experience, you order, walk in, you pick it up. Usually you get it faster than the drive-through. At least the Taco Bell by me, drive-through is always
no, drive-through is the only way. Around me, the drive-through is the only way, because you go inside, and if there's 10 cars in the drive-through, they will clear all 10 cars before they do anything. Before they even acknowledge your existence. And it is so foul. So,
no, but again, if you order online, you get priority.
I
I have
don't believe
I
it.
have walked in before there have been people, 10 people waiting for their orders and people still going through the drive-through, and I've got
So what is this? Taco Bell is trying to force the hand. They want what? Can they have less employees working if they only accept online orders? Is that where we're going? So nobody ever has to take an order. You just, or every order, there will be no ordering in person. You order online and you drive through and you pick it up and you leave. No dining options, nobody taking orders, just people making food as it appears on the screen. Is that where we're going?
that's probably part of it, but I think
Disgusting.
more of what they're trying to do, Justin, is they know the more time that you're on the app, the more you've got Taco Bell on the brain, and the easier it is to smash that button, order that meal, pick it up, drive through.
And they've lost sight of their biggest customers and fans, because I always have Taco Bell on the brain. Their tactics,
they're not
their
catering
tactics
to
are
us.
discouraging me.
They're not catering to us. Like they could triple their prices. We'd still be eating
Yes.
Taco Bell. Like
$7.75 for a hard taco supreme.
they'll bring back the beefy Fritos burrito for $5.
Give me give me the grande meal. Give me the grande meal for like $97.50.
Speaking of prices and love for Taco Bell, we just need to appreciate the fact that Taco Bell has not significantly raised prices. Like I was looking at McDonald's, McChickens are more, like food everywhere is just more expensive, whether that's a grocery store, eating out. You can still buy a $5 meal box and
$5 cravings box,
Supreme, a 5-layer burrito, Baja Blast, and spicy cheesy potatoes, or nacho chips. Like for $5, they are looking out for the people. They're looking out for guys like us.
We're gonna get off of here, and there's gonna be like an announcement that says the $5 cravings box is now a $7.50 cravings box.
That was $7.99 cravings box. But seriously, the last 2 years, that price has not changed.
Like, does Subway even have a single foot long for $5 anymore? I feel like last time I was there, they had 1 foot long for $5, and it was the meatball sub. And instead of getting like 7 meatballs on it, you got 2. And I was like, 1 meatball for a 6-inch sub? Come on.
What is this? Shout out to Taco Bell, price fixing for all the right reasons.
Yes, they've got us price match guarantee. They got it locked in, a locked in rate. We can get you a guaranteed locked in rate, or you could do annual variable fixed rate.
A variable rate. Oh
yes.
Man. Now I got Taco Bell on the brain. Taco Bell on the brain. Well,
as you should. I
think that's a supreme way to crunch wrap.
What's that song?
Crunch wrap the
Must be Bell on the brain.
Is that how it goes?
I think so. We'll figure that out for next week.
Yeah.
But until then,
for next week.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Live mas, baby.
Live mas.